All right, we're live on YouTube. I will start off. We'll start off the pledge. Hold on. I'm having problems with my American flag. There it comes. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and for the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Take it right? Okay. All right. Stop share. Let's do a roll call. Everybody hears? Greg? Okay. Claire? Kevin?
Here.
All right. Robert Yoder, Ben Baker. So we don't have a quorum today, but I'm not going to vote on anything, though I did want to. We do need to nominate officers. So we can nominate the people who aren't here. That's their penalty. But let me just pull up. Shoot. So I just messed. My agenda is in the same screen. So there. So I don't have any minutes from last week. Director's report. This is an update pretty much from last week, last month. We still have businesses open. Millard Advisors, you may have noticed, across from Trotta's put their sign up. They're getting ready to open. Horton's Barbershop should be open middle of next month, so that's going well. Haven't heard from Glow in the past couple weeks, but I know they're moving forward on their rehab. People always ask me what's going on with Roebling Books. We just had a discussion with them and their landlord. They're still moving forward. He's opening another location on Overton and Newport, and that one's going to open first. And after that opens, then the one in Dayton will open. So that's going forward. The German-themed restaurant, they're working out their lease with their landlord. I feel very positive about that. So that's moving forward. So we're gonna have a lot of good events a lot of new businesses opening up, starting here in the next couple the old dentist office, the rehab has started on that. So a lot of good things. I want to thank Hickory Dickory Dock. I hope you guys had a chance to check out the Old West Carnival they did. Hold on. The Old West Carnival that they did last weekend. You had about 400 or 500 people there, Craig?
Between 400 and 500 that came through, yeah. So we had a really good turnout for a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So that was good. You
guys switched up on that too. It was, sorry, Bob, I don't mean to interrupt. You guys switched up on that too. You guys were scheduled for that Saturday.
Yeah,
Right.
we were scheduled that Saturday, and then I had decided that we wanted to do it Sunday. I know Kim Townsley had told me about it. She was like, well, why don't you just do it on a Sunday or, Friday? But I was like, well, Friday, the city's still open, and then it's kids get out of school. So we thought, okay, well then then she said, well, what about Sunday? So I was like, yeah, let's just do it Sunday.
It made it easier to go Sunday than next Saturday because next Saturday, the first being Derby Day.
Mhm.
I know Tim and them are trying to set something up for the Derby as well. And I know there was a couple of locations down in Bellevue that we had talked with and had our posters up that they were doing things for Derby. So we just didn't think Derby Day would be an advantageous day for us.
I just
Very nice
think it's so good how you guys put the promotion out. You said we're going to be doing it on Saturday. Bad weather came in, and it was bad. I was out in it, and you guys still had 400 to 500 people show up.
Yeah.
That's great.
At one time, the little gal that does the face painting, that set up a face painting booth, she's a graduate from right here at Dayton High School, just graduated last year, Abigail. At one time, she had 18 people just patiently waiting in line. And it was really great because the parents, she was just charging $1, to kind of cover her cost for paint. And she was really patient with the kids. And I know when I was standing down there a few times, I watched parents come back and hand her $5 and $10 at a time for what she was doing because the kids were just loving it. So, and I think word kind of spread from there. I really do.
And I don't know how many times, like, I couldn't even get away from the booth that I was doing for tickets because people would come up and buy tickets constantly.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, and then the kids would play the games, but they'd come back and get more tickets. So it was like, it was really amazing, and I couldn't just get away from that booth, which was really, really an advantage.
So I'm going to bounce around the agenda here. Greg brought up an idea with me. I came down Sunday, took a look at it, went over, had coffee at Taza, walked up and down the street. There was a lot of good energy up and down the street. And I thought that was a really good, easy, simple, small event. I don't know if we're comfortable with, big close down the street for 2 blocks, lots of bands events just yet. But I think people are comfortable with smaller events. And Greg brought up with me a desire to do a similar event on July 3rd at the green space at the War Memorial. And Greg, I'm gonna hand the floor over to you to talk about that because I know you're talking with Tim Hall.
Yeah, I've what I want to do is one of the things that you don't see a lot of around here is something for everybody in the city to kind of be a part of. And July 4th, nobody got to do really fireworks outside of maybe their backyard last year, things like that. Everybody likes to have something to do Independence Day weekend. And I figured this would be a great way to possibly start a new tradition here in Dayton by putting on an event in the green space. I know I've talked with several vendors. That's not going to be an issue. We've got the games. That's not a problem. You and I have talked about the additional add-ons for that with the bouncy house and things like that. But I've also talked with Tim. I met with Tim this morning, and him and I sat around. We talked for about 15 minutes about bringing music in. And I think if you've got music and you've got, something for kids to do, you've got vendors there, I think you can tie up that whole general area into something really nice involving getting Tim involved. Now we're bringing on more businesses, which is honestly what we've wanted to do the entire time we've been doing these things. We don't have a problem running them. We love running them. We have a blast. As you could see when we were dancing around in costume on Sunday, we have a good time. So, but getting more businesses involved is the ultimate goal for these things. And Tim was very open to the idea, and he said, "Let me start making phone calls, and I can let you know by the end of the week, band or bands." And I think he's even going to open up for lunch that day. I know Dayton Marketplace was a part of our one Sunday, and the new ownership there went around to our vendor booths with a menu and offered to walk across the street and get them lunch and bring it back to them. And it went over really well. I know in talking to them, really added quite a bit in sales for a Sunday for them. And I was glad to see them do that.
So let me talk. Kevin and Claire don't know this. We were going to do a winter carnival last March or April. What was it?
Yeah,
It was March. We normally do them in March, but we
Yeah,
couldn't do
we were
it.
going to do it in March, and then March 2020 happened. And I had
Yes.
already paid for bouncy houses and games and things like that. And then 2020 happened, so we've had a credit at A&A Amusements. So I gave them a call today, and they looked up our PO, and yes, we had a credit. So I've reserved all the games that we had before, a bouncy house. Before we were going to make them drop it off and pick it up the same day because it was that parking lot and I didn't want to close it up. And there was an extra fee for that.
Mhm.
Well, now that it's going to go into the green space at 6 and Berry, we can, drop the bouncy houses off in the morning and they can pick them up later. So they said they were fine with that. So if that's the case, I save about $130, and that essentially with about $23 more, I can get another bouncy house. So we could have 2 bouncy houses. And who doesn't want more bouncy houses, right?
Right,
Right.
right, right.
So for an extra, for an extra few dollars, if I get an extra bouncy house, I'm going to work it out with them. And we
Nice.
also save
Okay.
money because they'll be able to stake the bouncy house into the dirt and not have to have the big sandbags and stuff like that. So we'll be able to extend the money that we spent back in fiscal year 2019, 2020, which will be, it's kind of funny, on July 3rd, that'll be fiscal year 21, 22. So that'll be like 2 fiscal years ago. But so we'll be able to do that. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Terrace, the new barbershop owner, Ben and I have talked to him. He's going to open up mid-June, and he kind of wants to have a Juneteenth celebration. So that'll add that. And Kevin and Alejandra are doing, hello, my son just walked in, a Cinco de Mayo thing at the garage. So I'm kind of looking at this and saying, if we could come back and set up a whole series of small little family or different types of events for different groups of people, so I just think that's something that we can do. And I just want to talk about encouraging and start building up a calendar of these. And probably we did well with the fall festival previous years where we did that in the 600 block parking lot. So if we can do these and move them around to the 3 spots the city owns, I think it makes it easier. And that way, the people in the 500 block can say, oh, we had this one down here. The people in the 600 and 700 block will have it at Berry, and so we can move it around the district and get people going around. So that's just something I wanted to bring up and talk about that and start planning those kind of things out for the next couple months.
Well, I'll say this much, Bob, we've got, I think my last count with what I just ordered, I think I'll have like 20 games that we'll have ourselves that are ours. And anytime somebody wants to do an event and they need games for kids, feel free to contact us.
Yeah.
I have no trouble loaning those out for folks to do anything like this anywhere up and down here in town.
That's great. So, I wanted to go through on the agenda. I want to upgrade the streetscape project. We opened the bids last Thursday. We looked at the 2 bids. We got 2 bids in. They were only about $5,000 to $7,000 difference. So right now our engineers are looking at evaluating the 2 bids to make sure there's no difference in what they're offering. It seems very doable. They came in a little high. This project was originally, the first phase of this project was originally granted 11 years ago. So, but we've got extra money from the state and working with them. So we hope to possibly even by the next city council meeting, choose a contractor to get this moving. So I'm working with the state on that. We're trying to see if we can get a few more dollars out of the state and get things moving on that. So that's moving forward. I talked about that. Dayton Dining Dollars program is still going on. Just an update on if you saw it on Facebook. We have some cards left over, and we were just going to hand out cards to the people who are giving the vaccines. And I thought about it, and I thought for a little extra push to get people to get vaccinated, anybody who gets vaccinated on Friday will get a Dayton Dining Dollars card. Since it's from 10 to noon, they'll get their shot, and they'll hopefully still have energy to have some lunch someplace. So we're going to hand those out. So we're up now to over 15% redemption rate. I picked up a few today, so we're over that. So we have over 300. We have over 300 people have turned in cards already. That goes through June 1st. And the next thing I had on the agenda, I'm going to bring it up. I know, and this is just my design. I'm not a graphic designer. I want to say that, but some thoughts about the corner at 6th and Main. So Kevin and Joe gave me this satellite drawing, and you could see where they put the tape down already. That was great. And saw a little bit on Facebook from it, but I think it is slowing traffic down there. And we've got the pylons there, and I was just for discussion points, I thought this is kind of a design that I think would be readily easy to do. And we could do it with just paint. I know, Kevin, you and Joe had some thoughts on this. Can I hand it off to you?
Yeah. Sorry.
And if you don't like my design, Kevin, I don't mind one bit. Okay, this is only up here for discussion.
Oh no, that's not why I said that. So I was going to bring up another image too in a second, but
Oh, go ahead.
yeah. So we I guess a week ago, was that last week or 2 weeks ago? We did some improvements to the garage. We painted the door. We planted the planters, among other things. And we had talked with the city about really using Gorilla Glue tape, like the wide Gorilla Glue tape to tape crosswalks, because there were no crosswalks on the intersections. So that Gorilla Glue tape we've used in the past for projects like this, and it lasts for about a year, and it's pretty simple. So what you see there now is essentially a taped off, but not like super sophisticated version of this. Like we kind of eyeballed it. We didn't measure it. And I mean, we did a bit of measurement, but like, if we're going to paint it, we'll retape it with painter's tape. There has been an idea of, in advance of the Memorial Day parade coming back at the end of May, to paint this intersection in a way that is respectful and reflects on the VFW and, Memorial Day. For those of you who maybe don't understand terminology, a bump out is essentially, so you probably can't see my mouse, but where the blue is on this image is essentially where cars don't necessarily need to drive. So bump outs basically tighten up the intersection for pedestrians so that there is less street or car oriented street to cross. So it makes the crosswalks a bit shorter. It makes the intersection a little more pedestrian friendly. You can put in flower pots and things into bump outs so that cars can't drive on them at all, but I don't think that's part of the plan here. It would just be paint. So you could still drive over it, but it would just encourage you not to. But we do get school buses and metro buses there that probably will have a bit of a problem doing a tight turn, although it's designed to allow them to go through. So yeah, I think I can bring up some other images, but yeah, I think that's the general idea being presented.
Okay, do you want to try bringing it up? Let me see how I can.
Yeah, let me see if I can bring up the email that Joe sent.
I drove past the tape tonight and it looked nice.
Oh, thanks.
I'll stop share.
I didn't see who said that. Sorry.
It was Claire.
Oh, hey, Claire. Okay. Yeah, thank you. And
Kevin, I'm going to make you the host so you can share.
okay. Yeah, we met a lot of neighbors when we were doing the tape, and they obviously came out and asked us what we were doing, and it was a great way to meet the neighbors. We had some really positive conversations with some of the folks that live right next to it. Yeah, so image-wise, I mean, there's a way to sort of go about this in a way using the sort of patriotic colors, but not being so literal with the stars and stripes. Obviously, this is a totally different style of intersection, but if you can imagine almost like a pattern like this with the red, white, and blue color palette, or even something like this, which is a bit more paint, but like really colors in and becomes more of a intersection mural, but still designated kind of crosswalks patterns for people to cross. In fact, on this one, I think the crosswalks aren't even painted. So it's just painted the kind of the center of the intersection with a really colorful mural.
So
yeah, that's kind of the, I don't know. We're not really asking for anything right now. I don't think, Bob. We just want people's feedback, I guess, and we've been emailing back and forth with the city about whether or not we should do this.
So we're a go. You know what? The city's a go on doing this, so that's a fine. I reached out to Erin. She's probably the most graphic design oriented person we have, and sent this to her, and she said she was going to. I talked to her yesterday, and she said she was going to work on something. But so I can send it around to everybody when I get that from her in the next couple of days. But I'd really like to figure out to see maybe we can pencil in a weekend coming up here to get some people out there to go out and paint the design. And I'm ready for whatever anybody wants to do. I'm leaning to something simple and graphic because that's what we want to do. I know you've asked about putting down the white the thermal white stripes on there. We can do that. I can get Rick to get that. That's what we want to do. Or we can just start it off and do it with paint. And that would be the easiest and cheapest thing to do. So,
yeah, am I muted? No. The question really is, does the city want to use this as an opportunity to take the time and resources to put in an actual crosswalk before it's painted, which would be the thermoplastic crosswalk. So I think if you were planning on doing that and you had the resources to do that, now would be the time to do that before the paint goes down. But if not, it's fine too.
Ben knows this. Rick gets really busy getting ready for the Memorial Day parade, cleaning the streets, putting up all the flags. We can ask Public Works, but there's part of me that knows Rick during May, that those guys get really busy. They're starting to mow lawns and mow the flood wall. So I'll ask. I think willingness is yes. Time and capabilities of our staff. Since we have 3.5, we only have, we have 4 people now there. So they have a lot of work to do. So I will find out and see if Rick feels he can do that, to put the white crosswalk stripes in there. And if that's what he can do, we'll do that. And then paint red, put the red stripes in there later. Or we could just do blue and white stars, if that's what we decide to go with, at the bump outs, and just have white stripes, with the thermoplastic. So that'd be my, well, let me get with Rick and see how, I know he can do it. It's going to be a bit more what Rick says he has time to do.
Kevin, we're going to look at, I mean, I always think that your design is great. You guys do good work. So whatever you think looks great, we'll work with that. Bob is kind of right about Rick being very busy this time of year. Grass is starting to grow, trees are starting to bloom. So he's pretty busy with that. But if it takes me coming down and spending a day or two painting, I'm happy to put my effort towards it as well. I think it's a very positive thing for the city, and it's needed, really.
No, I think we can get a lot of people from the city to help paint this. That the painting doesn't bother me. The thermoplast has to be laid down in plastic, and you do a flame heat gun on top of it. And I'm not a big fan of having volunteers and flame together. So
Sounds fun to me.
What?
Sounds fun to me.
We had fun in Sergeant Park the other weekend with chainsaws too, and chippers. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, like to see about getting it done. I think you've got the outlines there, so we can go there. I was talking to Erin. She was going to see about getting us some templates done for the stars, if that's something we wanted to do. So, if you and Kevin have an idea for design on that, great. If Erin comes up with something, great. We'll send it around and just kind of vote via email which ones we kind of like and which ones that we think we can do.
Okay, sounds good to me.
And I'll put a call out. I especially want to call out to the VFW, see if I can get some of those guys to come and help paint. I just think this is something they'd really appreciate. I know Greg's a veteran, and Greg,
getting veterans, yeah, absolutely. Getting veterans out for something like this would be, I think it'd be a great thing to do. And I'm pretty sure if you touch base with VFW, I'm sure you'll get plenty of volunteers from there.
So I think that'd be a good neighborhood thing in your block.
Yeah, and we had the community event or the neighbors event the other night, and we put flyers on pretty much every mailbox within eyesight of the building. We probably do the same thing for this too, just because it is also a really fun thing for kids to be a part of, and there are plenty of kids around there. So.
Hey Kevin, is there any special kind of paint? I figure it'd be oil based, but I mean, when you do this in Bellevue or you've done this other places, what kind of paint do you use?
Yeah, it's funny, and we get that a lot. The real answer is it's really just like concrete patio paint. It's like what you would use.
Oh, that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
The key is, and we haven't completely mastered this yet, but we're hoping to do it on this one, is there's either sand or something called shark tooth or shark grip you can put in the paint to make it less slippery.
Okay.
But other than that, it's really just concrete patio paint, and it lasts. The one in Bellevue has been up for, I need to repaint it this year, but it still looks pretty good. It's been there for 3 years.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I know that. I've used that paint, concrete paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
People ask me how I figured out what kind of paint to use, and I say I asked the guy at Home Depot.
Okay.
So that's and it's traffic engineers have asked me that question. So just go to aisle 10 at Home Depot and talk to the first guy you see.
Okay. Like I said, if it's lasted 3 years, even if it lasts a year or two, I mean, that's all that would matter to me. So especially if it's just that concrete patio paint, that's not overly expensive. So we did blue, white, and red. All right. So we just. Going through up here. Da, 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 da. Well, I'm going to take this time. Let's nominate some officers. Erin said last month she kind of wanted to, after a couple of years as president, she'd like to bow out. We have 2 new members, so I don't want to stick that on there. So do you guys want to nominate somebody who's not here? Maybe like Nathan? Or I'll just ask Nathan to see if he wants to step up.
What all are the positions?
We have chair, which run the meeting. So they should work with me in setting up the agenda. The agenda is pretty much the same format every month. And they would call for votes and do the roll call and ask for the pledge. We have a vice chair who handles the meeting should the chair be gone. And a secretary who takes minutes. We had Laura Stanberry for that for a bunch of years. Right now we're recording them on Zoom, so this helps a lot with that. But those are the 3 officers that we have. So, you know what? I'm going to reach out and talk offline to some of the members who've been here for a while and see what they're willing to do. I don't want to stick it to Kevin or Claire. You guys have just come on board.
I will.
Okay.
I spoke with Kevin about this before, so I'm not catching him off guard here.
Right.
So I think this is a very important time right now in the formation of our Main Street, the formation of our city. And Kevin is obviously, this ain't his first rodeo as far as urban redevelopment and also organizing. So and obviously I'm not a member of the board, but I think it'd be important for us to not look to look away from him when there's an opportunity for us to have Kevin hold that space for maybe it's an interim period of time, maybe it's 6 months to the end of the year, so we can get some more people who would be in there than hand the baton off to them. So I think it would be wise for the board to consider, and Kevin, I'm not going to speak for you, but you did say you'd be interested in doing it on an interim basis, yes?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think so. What I can, just to kick off like a little conversation on that, I think from what I can tell you, this organization has has done a lot of good stuff. It's coming off the COVID-19 pandemic. It's losing its president. There's a lot of momentum in the Main Street, particularly right now, a lot of energy. My background is in community development and nonprofit organization, and I'm not from Dayton. Obviously, I don't pretend to be. So that's why I think when it was brought up, I was thinking of it as interim, where we find a way to work together to figure out what the purpose of the organization is coming out of COVID, and maybe how many board members we need to recruit, who should we recruit, what should we be focused on, kind of help with Bob and everybody else kind of get the ship steering in the right direction, and then step back down and find someone to replace me who's probably, preferably I think a resident of Dayton. I don't know. I don't know what, there's a lot I don't know. So I'll admittedly say that I would have a lot to learn, but I think the goal would be to help for a short period of time and then figure out a way to elevate someone else to the role.
If you do it, I'd be glad for that.
We don't have a quorum. Can we even do that?
We can make him interim and then we'll vote on it next time we have a quorum at our next meeting. I mean, is that man to be Robert Rules of Order, but I think I'm good with that. And until we get a quorum next time, we'll vote on it then. I don't think there's going to be any objections. Generally, it's who stands up and is willing to do it.
Well, Greg,
Apparently.
is Greg or Claire, do you guys, how do you think? What do you think? How do you feel about it? We have you here.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I wasn't fully aware of your background, but excuse me, seems like a good fit.
I would have to agree, and I'm not a full-fledged member of the group, but yeah, as someone that is here, I think with your background, I definitely agree with Claire here, and I think you're a good fit.
Thanks.
All right.
I'd hate to have Mickey Mantle sitting on the bench when we need a pinch hitter and for us to go with me.
It's a generous comparison. I have a quick question. Thanks for bringing it up, Ben and Bob. But how many board members do we have, and how many can we have?
We can have 5, 7, or 9. Right now we have 5, so we can make this. We get more people. We could have 5, 7, or 9, according to the ordinance.
So if we added anyone else right now, we'd have to add 2. Is that how that works?
You know what? If you had somebody else in mind to go, we'd add them and look for somebody else. I mean, there are times when there are vacancies because people believe that we have 4 until we can find somebody to appoint. So, but
well, maybe this is premature, but I don't know what the process is for nominating someone, but I had a conversation with Alejandra,
mhm.
and she said she'd be willing to help out.
Okay. Here's the process. Ben appoints Alejandra, and if she's in, she's on, and then we do the have you fought a duel with deadly weapons thing. So that's the high-tech process, parliamentary process we use. So I've asked Alejandra in the past if she wanted to do it, and she was feeling overwhelmed, but if she's ready to do it now, be more than happy to do it. So pretty much if you want to get involved, we'll make space for you.
Okay. Well, and you guys tell me if that's premature to bring that up. Because I don't know what we're missing on the board, or what, if we're looking for more residents or more business owners, or, I mean, maybe those are discussions that need to be had. But I was just curious what the process was.
Someone giving interest, and I let Ben know. Quick discussion whether would they be a good fit, and you're on one of our boards pretty much. I mean, planning and zoning and code enforcement are a bit more formalized because those are more formal boards than this. But if somebody shows interest and wants to get involved, we find them a place on the board. Is pretty much how it works, or how it has worked. There's room for anybody who wants to roll up their sleeves and help. So. Looking back at the agenda, I don't have anything else. I would like, give you guys some thought. We have Memorial Day Parade in May. Terrace Horton is doing a Juneteenth event in June. We're going to do the 3rd of July event in July. So I'd like to start thinking about what kind of things could we do possibly in August, and September would be a good time to do bring back our fall festival that we've done in the past. And that would give us a nice little simple calendar to go through the summer to do events on Main Street. So
I think when you look at August, Bob, I think something that would really entice people around here is if we could tie something in with back to school and the group around here. I've talked with several parents, and I know there's a lot of them even last year, more so last year, because they just had absolutely no clue what to go out and even get their kids when it comes to school. But I know school supplies are always a huge thing. I do have some tie-ins with some of the distributors that I have personally, even for here at our shop, that we could hook up with and pull things like notebooks and crayons and pens, pencils, markers, all of that as prizes. Do something up like a parking lot setup. I could get vendors and anybody that wants to head this up. I have no problem. Like we've told you, Bob, we'll be more than happy to head up any of these that if folks wants to put one together and they need help with it, we're here. The one we just held was our 7th. Everyone has gotten better, which is the way you want to go. And there's a lot of potential. And I think one for school would be a big one to do in August.
I think that'd be great. A back to school bash. I mean, we come up with a more creative name, but we would be the first city to do a back to school bash or something like that. And
Right.
we can reach out to other nonprofits and stuff for getting school supplies and stuff like that to help families out. That would be a great thing to do. And I'll reach out to the schools, Jay and Ron, Jay Brewer and Ron Kinman, and see if they have any ideas about that. But that would, again, I was thinking the exact same thing, that August would be a good time to do a back to school bash. And that would be kind of a fun thing to do. Yeah, and, come get some school supplies, close off a block, have some restaurants, see what we can do together for that. So that would be kind of a fun family.
That would be a great one to get the new barber shop maybe involved in, and maybe even Nikki's, to where maybe they could do some haircuts for back to school, things like that. So I think that would be a great thing if they would be willing to donate a little time for that. And I know, is it Jay, the gentleman across the street there with the barber shop? He came out to our event Sunday. And I definitely think he would be open to that idea, just in talking with him for the few minutes that I talked with him on Sunday.
I didn't even have time to talk to him, actually.
Well, that's a good idea. I like that idea. It's everybody that the businesses can help out with haircuts and stuff for back to school. That would be kind of a neat thing to do. Yeah, let's pencil that one in, and I'll call Jay and Ron this week and see if they have any thoughts about that, what kind of stuff that they would need. I like the idea. Excuse me. About the haircuts and stuff like that. We, get kids haircuts going back to school and stuff like that. That'd be a really fun thing. And you know what? It really utilizes. We've got a lot of barbers and beauty shops on the street. That's one of our strengths. So that would be kind of a fun thing to do. So we'll do back to school bash in August, Fall Fest in September, 4th of July in July, and Juneteenth in June. There's a full summer calendar. So let's start taking it from there.
Bob, you brought up the Memorial Day parade, and I don't know if this needs to be for you or even maybe for Ben, but as the city, what would be something that this group could do to help as that parade is taking its route down here through Dayton and headed towards Bellevue? Is there anything that as a group that we could step up and do to assist our city workers along with that? What do we need to do? What could we do?
Keep it, help it, keep it clean.
Yeah.
Can I be blunt? Help us keep the street clean. I mean, we really, anything you can do. We should get businesses, if they want to put out flags, look as patriotic as you can, and those type of things. Those are probably some of the biggest things we can do. And if we can get this crosswalk done, I think that will be a really big thing for us to do.
What about, you mentioned, being as patriotic as you can. What about this group? And I know Claire and Kevin, you guys are kind of the two that are here, so maybe I'll even throw this to you guys as well. But what could this group do to serve up some type of a small enticement to businesses to get them to decorate, because I think that would be a big thing for the city.
I don't know if that we have to entice them. I think we just ask them, they'll do it.
I think we just ask them. Yeah, we could do. Anybody like this one? We'll give a brand new City of Dayton flag to the businesses that best decorates for Memorial Day.
There you go.
There you
I
go.
Kind of like what we did for the Christmas one,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was, yeah,
or
and do a flag. Give
yeah,
out a city
and
flag.
just give out a city flag.
yeah. Have you seen the
Okay.
new city flag?
No.
Oh, it's cool. So we got a brand new cool city flag that'll be going up on the streets here in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Nice.
And so I bought some extras that we're gonna sell. We've had people who wanted City of Dayton flags before. Looks really nice. The design would look really good on a baseball cap. So if you wanted to do something like that, so that's something that we could do. That would look really good. And the winner gets a City of Dayton flag, and it's if you come in the city building, we have one hanging on the back wall. You can look at it. And it's a good looking, solid flag.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm just looking around the stuff that we have, and that's something new that we have that will be introduced pretty much from the Memorial Day parade. There's one flying at Sergeant Park right now. We're starting to pull it out, but yeah. So
We haven't been up there since it's been cleaned up. We have to go check it out.
Yep. So we'll do that.
Yeah. What time does the parade start? Do we know yet?
10.
10.
10.
Yeah. Sorry, I was on mute. Wanted to answer your question.
We were, since the garage is right at the beginning of it, where they'll be setting up, we were gonna probably have like coffee and donuts and stuff there for everybody.
Oh,
If you guys think that's appropriate, it's either
yeah,
that or
that's appropriate. That'd be a good thing that we could do. Help if since you have the spot there,
Water.
to help out with some coffee and
Water always huge, Kevin, because I guarantee you, I'm not a weatherman, but it is going to be scolding that day.
Mhm.
Kevin, something you might look to do is talk with the new owners at the Dayton Marketplace, the marathon down here, and let him know that you're wanting to give out bottled waters, because I know they set a booth up at our event this past Sunday. They gave out water and chips at no cost to folks just walking around. So I'm sure they would be more than happy to help out.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we have
Thanks.
a couple tables to set up there.
They're really, really nice people.
Okay. You said
They-
marketplace.
Yes, they're wanting to be as involved as they can, and it's always nice to see another business that's wanting to step up and be involved with things going on. And I think that would be a good thing to maybe get them involved in.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if we were thinking about grilling out too, but I don't want. Is it too early for hot dogs, or is it 10 a.m. donut time or hot dog time? I can't. Which one?
we don't. Is it too early for hot dogs? That's a really tough question.
Anti-American statement, probably.
Let me throw this out at you. The city of Dayton, if you need fold-up tables for something, reach out to me. We've got them.
Okay.
If you need a pop-up tent, the Civic Club has some, so they're theirs. We asked them, but they're pretty good about letting us borrow them. You guys, Greg, you used some last weekend, right? So, I mean, if you need some tables and something like that, we'd be glad to drop them off.
Okay.
And they were a big help to us, and we do appreciate it. Want to thank the city for helping us out on those, and even the canopy. That was a tremendous help. And actually, I only asked for a few tables and probably could have used a few more. Some of our vendors went off and forgot theirs, but it was really nice to see other vendors just jump in and help them out. So
That's great.
So, if you need something, ask for it. And if we have it, sure. We understand it's for the cause. Well, it's 7:56. If there's nothing else for the good of the cause, I'd try to keep you here for an hour or less.
I was just
Anybody have
gonna
any
add,
comments?
just add real quick that I sent an email to Ben and Bob and Jay today about this, but we're having a comedy night event at the garage on May 14th. That is a ticketed event, and we're selling 40 tickets. I think it's like half sold right now. But the way the beer is going to work for that event is it's going to be $1 per beer is going to be donated to a Dayton nonprofit.
Okay, so how much are the tickets?
Tickets are $10.
Okay.
And main reason well, there's a couple of reasons it's ticketed. The main reason it's capped is just because of COVID still kind of being an issue, like limiting the crowd. But we're capping it at 40 people, so it's still quite a few people. But yeah, and then Ben mentioned the Civic Club, but we'll probably we can donate to whomever. I wanted to get advice on that, and then this will Bob mentioned the Cinco de Mayo event. It might be the same scenario, so we'll probably keep doing things like this where a portion of the sales goes to a local nonprofit. So just want to throw that out there.
Okay.
Kevin, we'd like to be able to get a hold of 2 of those tickets if we can.
Oh, okay.
So down at Hickory Dickory, just however we need to go about doing it, you can just shout at us or whatever, and we'll be more than happy to come down and get them.
Well, you can order them digitally. So while we're just wrapping up here, if I can, will it work for you if I throw the link in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Buy me about 15 seconds. Give me 1 second.
And like, how in advance do you need the tickets or like the money?
Oh, we'll get them. We'll go down. We'll order them online. But if you've got that link, we'll make sure others get it out too.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks.
You know.
Yeah, I think there's about 20 tickets left. And it's on, I just put the link in there. It's on May 14th.
Right.
And it's actually, it's really kind of co-hosted by us. It's a friend of mine who does stand-up comedy almost as a hobby. And I don't know much about stand-up comedy locally, but he said he has set up a really good lineup of comedians. So.
All right. Anything else?
Bob, I won't volunteer for a position or a board position or anything like that. Bob, that's just something that I leave up to the committee that's already there. But anytime we are more than happy to help this organization any way we possibly can. I really want to see this group moving forward. And as you and I were talking about some things earlier before everybody got a part of it, and I think that would be a phenomenal thing in the future for this group to move towards as well.
All right. Greg, I'm going to warn you. You come to 2 meetings, so an invite might be coming.
I'm always open for an invite, and like I said, we're here to help and build this group and build the town. That's why we're here. And I think you and I know we discussed that when we first moved in, when we talked with you. We felt like we were getting in on the ground floor of something special, something that was coming. You could feel it. You could feel the vibe in the air prior to COVID here. And it's nice to see that this group's ready to pick it back up and carry that vibe that was there before forward.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's 8 o'clock. If there's nothing else for the cause, I'll look. Could someone give me a motion to adjourn? Claire? Okay, that's good.
I was on mute, sorry.
That's it. Okay, Kevin?
I second Claire's muted motion.
All right. All in favor, say goodbye.
All right. See you, everybody.
Bye. Thanks.